Here we have a typical XP computer. We're going to log on as Jajan in the Contoso domain. As we can see here, it's a typical XP machine. I have my data is local to me. It's on my C drive. I have all my applications, they're local. For instance, I have Office 2003. I have Adobe. I have Office Communicator. Let's go ahead and launch Office or Outlook for Office 2003. And you see it's local to my machine. I got a new email. So here we're saying, hey, I noticed you have, Internet Explorer, IE6, Adobe. You want to try some new applications without ruining or losing my old data. Absolutely. So here we are in Active Directory. Here's Jeff's user account. If we go to member of, we'll see Jeff's a member of just the domain users group. But if we add him to the remote Office 2010 group, the Office 2007 group, which will be a virtual application, folder redirection for data virtualization, Adobe, and remote desktop users for desktop virtualization. If we take a look at my application virtualization, here's some applications that will come down to Jeff the next time he logs on. We'll see that Office 2007 is enabled to the Office 2007 group. Adobe is also enabled to the Adobe group. What we're not showing you is Office 2003 is also there for the 2003 group, things like that. But the 2010 is going to come down to Jeff as a remote application. So we associate some remote applications with a group of users in the directory. So we see here I'm installing Internet Explorer, I'm installing which is a virtual Internet Explorer, virtual Outlook 2010, PowerPoint 2010, virtual Word 2010. So I have a combination of remote applications such as Excel 2010, PowerPoint 2010. So we're launching Word for 2010, but remember it's a remote desktop services remote app. Here's Outlook 2007, which is an application virtualization application. And then here's my locally installed version 2003, which I had before. Well, that was interesting. Well, what about 2007? So here's Eduardo. Hey, you ready for Windows 2007? You bet. Well, what about my data? We added Jeff to a group called folder redirection. Well, we associated that group with a group policy. So as Jeff logged on, you can see we changed the location of his data and synchronized the location up on the server so we won't lose any of the data, and we're going to bring forward the applications that are associated with Jeff. So here's my final synchronization happening to the server or to my cloud-based data location. Here's a Windows 7 machine. Let's not log on as Eduardo. Let's log on as Jeff. What's going to happen here is the very first time I log on to here, it's going to say, oh, it's Jeff. This is Jeff's data. This is Jeff's remote applications. These are Jeff's virtual applications. So right away, there's my data from the folder redirection. Let's go to the applications. Here they are. I have Office of 2003, which was because I was in the Office 2003 group. I have Office 2007. There's another virtual application from my virtual application group called Office 2007. And then I have a locally installed version of Office 2010. So we can see I'm running them side by side because the virtualization gives me that ability to do that. So as I just start typing some data in here, I'm going to go ahead and save these files to my data location. So the virtualized applications and my physical applications, they all have access to the same virtual data location. Let's go to Internet Explorer. So we still have a lot of app compat issues with IE8. Well, in this instance, we have a remote app called IE6. So this is a terminal server application coming down to me, or this could be a Microsoft Enterprise Desktop Virtualization application. The point is, we have the solutions to have that backward compatibility of your old applications, old Internet Explorer, to run in a newer OS. Well, as we saw there, my printer, this group policy says if you're in the Singapore site, deploy that printer. If you're in the Corp HQ site, deploy this printer. Well, my computer is in that site. The next time group policy synchronizes, the printer gets installed for me. But we are a highly mobile organization now, aren't we? So let's log off this computer and let's fly to Singapore. So we shut down the machine, we flew to Singapore, we logged on at our Singapore headquarters. What's going to happen here is because I'm in that Group policy, that site that says Singapore, we can see that right away. I changed my background desktop, and I've been associated with that site, so therefore I'm associated with that printer. See, we're having user-centric computing. We're saying, where is the user? I'm going to treat that person differently. Who is the user? I'm going to deploy applications and data to them. What we're seeing lastly here is this is Office Web Apps. So what we showed you is Windows XP, folder redirection, Office 2003, 2007, and 2010, in a combination of remote apps and application virtualization. In Windows 2007, folder redirection, Office 2003, 2007, 2010, and Office Web Apps. We also showed you IE6 on Windows 7 and location-aware deployment of printers, backgrounds, and group policies. Thank you very much.